Welcome back to Two Shots of Espresso Now, where bold moves, big energy, and serious inspiration are always on the menu. Today's guest took a 30-year career in education and turned it into something that literally sparkles. I'm talking rhinestones, custom pieces, and next level creativity. Susan Flanagan is the founder of SFH Designs Limited, and she's transforming everything from guitars to liquor bottles into jaw-dropping, one-of-a-kind statement pieces you didn't even know you needed until now. Trust us, by the end of this episode, you're going to want one. Susan, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Serena, I'm really excited because Susan is not only a very good friend, she was a client and was introduced to me by family members, and I adore them. Her and her husband, they're amazing, and she is so talented. Let me just plug her a little bit just to give you a sneak preview of what's in store for our episode today. I love score bars, and she bedazzled my score bar. How cool is that?
Oh, that looks amazing. If for everybody that's looking and able to see this, this is a score bar in a lucite case, and it is incredibly bedazzled with black and red and gold.
It's truly one of a kind piece. Thank you again. I thank you every time I look at it. I look at it every day. So I'm very excited. Susan, you ready for a quick round of some questions?
Bring them.
Okay. So give us the 30-second version. Who is Susan Flanagan?
So I was a teacher slash principal for 30 years in New York. And after my career of 30 years, I retired. My husband and I moved down to Florida in July. And we went to Art Basel, and I was kind of bored. I was looking for something really exciting. I love art, and I decided I needed something. I was looking for something to keep me busy.
Educator to bedazzler is not your typical pivot. What sparked it?
So when I had an aha moment when I was at Art Basel, I saw all this amazing rhinestone work, and I looked at my husband and I'm like, I can do this. This is something that I think creatively I could do this. So I literally, when we were coming home from our trip, I was like, let me take an online course. This is something that I can do. And I literally took maybe one or two online courses, and I started just dabbling with rhinestones and started creating. And it was something that just naturally became a part of me. And I enjoyed it so much and just started creating art.
So your first piece you ever made, what was it? And do you still have it?
Actually, no. My very first piece was a Bazooka gumball box. So part of the things that I wanted to start to make were like things that I felt were like nostalgic from my childhood. So I really wanted to create art that was like meaningful to me. So I started looking for like candy boxes and like the old-fashioned candies that were reminiscent of my childhood. So I sought out those candies that had meaning to my childhood. So that was the very first thing that I saw in the candy store, and I was like, oh my God, I used to love chewing on those bubble gums, unwrapping them and seeing the little cartoon wrapper. So that was the very first one I chose.
That brings me back.
And no, I don't still have it. I sold it.
So when did you realize, okay, this is a real business?
So a friend of mine actually, I just started making them and then giving them as gifts. I put them in lucite boxes and I was giving them away as gifts. And a girlfriend of mine saw them and she was like, Susie, I have a friend of mine who is the owner of Serendipity. Do you mind if I show him your pieces? I was like, absolutely not. Go ahead. And he loved them. I went to his home in Long Island and I showed him my pieces, and he was like, "These are incredible. I would love to put them in the store." And I was absolutely flattered, and he was very impressed with my work. And they are still there today, and they are in the iconic Serendipity store on East 60th Street.
It's a very special location for us, right,
Oh
Colbs?
my God.
And it's still some place that I go back to all the time. I'm so happy that it's still around for this next generation of, party goers and New Yorkers to celebrate and also to find your designs. That's so exciting.
So, what are people obsessed with right now? What's your most requested piece?
I branched out from just doing candies. I started, playing around with like sports memorabilia. So I would say the most requested are like not just the mini sports helmet, because a lot of the college kids, when they get into college, a lot of them, I do the mini sports helmets, the college and the NFL ones. And then also, I actually do the big ones, the
There you go.
actual.
Okay, so Susan is holding up for everybody to see a Rydell helmet like a football player does wear in games, and it is fully bedazzled. This is a Syracuse helmet. It is bedazzled with orange and blue and silver rhinestones. Incredible. What a piece.
Yes. And, these, obviously, the smaller ones are much more manageable, but yes, these are great.
And we see a smaller version of the helmet,
Right.
more like an accessory, right?
Right.
And that's Jets themed, and it has,
Right.
oh my gosh, it's just beautiful sapphire. Well, no, those are just emerald green
Emerald green.
and
Right.
silver bedazzles all over.
Yes. And they're great for when the
Gorgeous.
kids get into college. They're great for
Great
when
gift.
they get in. That's wonderful. So these are the most requested.
So where can our listeners go right now and see and buy your designs?
Currently in Florida, they are at Posh Art Gallery and Delray Marketplace.
Okay. Okay. And then you're also on Instagram
I'm
too?
on Instagram on SFH Designs Ltd. Also, I have a website, SFH Designs Ltd.
So, spill the tea. Any celebrity clients or pinch me projects that you could tell our listeners?
One of these beautiful helmets was made for Kyle Jusick. He lived in my neighborhood. When he was re-signed to the San Francisco 49ers, I made him one. Also, a friend of mine was doing Coco and Ice T's apartment, and Elise told me that their daughter really loved Hello Kitty, so I made her a Hello Kitty candy box, and she just gave me a shout out the other day. And then Barbara Kavovitz she was a housewife of New York, and I made her a Metallica record. I designed it and made it for her, and she gave me the most awesome shout out. And it's been great. Even with Serendipity, I did great collabs with like other companies like Peeps. It's been great. Some people have been wonderful, and it's been really nice. I made a basketball also for Mr. Beast.
Ooh, wow. That's incredible. All right. So, how long does a piece take? Like, give us a real comparison, a full guitar versus a mini
All
helmet.
right. So, a guitar, this,
Which is fully bedazzled with red rhinestones, like completely.
yeah, these crystal rhinestones, these are like, all of my rhinestones are top notch. They are incredibly high quality. This takes about working about 8 hours a day, about 2 weeks. Because it's, individual, teeny tiny, we're talking about the handle too. This is, I would say, takes me about 2 weeks versus a helmet. Did you say this little helmet? I could do this probably about 2, 3 days.
And like 8 hours a day?
Yeah, if I work pretty long, yeah, because it really depends on the detail. Like some helmets have more details than others, but if I was doing the jets, probably about 2 days.
Wow. And what goes into the detail that people may not
We're
realize?
talking about the size of the rhinestones. I mean, you're talking about like I'm using a 3 millimeter size rhinestone to get into the lettering, and I don't skimp. I really make sure that every space is covered. I don't leave any spaces at all. And you don't want to get glue on the rhinestones. You have to, every single one is put in place by hand individually. It really is very meticulous and very time consuming. And if you want it done properly, it just has to be done with care. So, you know, my name goes on it. It has to be done right.
I want to know about the emotional impact. Tell us about a commission that really hit you in the heart.
Well, there was somebody that really wanted a helmet done. Her husband was had passed away, and he had a Philadelphia Eagles helmet that was his from many years ago, and wanted to keep it in the family, but wanted to do something special, to it. And they saw it in the art gallery at Posh and reached out to me, and I'm still working with the family about bedazzling it and creating it, and still keeping the integrity of the piece, and making it special while still, you know, keeping it in the family and making sure everyone is aligned with what they want and how they want to make it look, and you know keep it special to them. And it's nice that they saw the Syracuse helmet and that's what inspired them. So something like that. And it's pricey. And I said to the people at the gallery, do not, I want to work with them. So whatever it is, I will work with them. Price should not come into play when it comes to matters of the heart.
What's coming up? Any new drops? Any new ideas? We heard something about ducks.
So this is really funny. So we have a Jeep, and a friend of mine said to me, "How come you're not getting any Jeep? I mean, how come you're not getting any ducks? No one's leaving you any ducks." And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know why I'm not getting any ducks, but we're not getting any ducks left because that's like a thing for Jeeps. They leave you a little rubber duck. So when they went back to New York, all of a sudden in the mail, I got a whole bunch of ducks in a box. And I was like, what am I going to do with these teeny tiny ducks? Usually they get ducks like that are this big, but she sent me ducks that were really tiny. And I was like, what am I going to do with them? So I decided that I would rhinestone them, pay it forward, and put a twist on it. So I've decided that I am going to start ducking people in Delray and Boca and leaving them ducks all over Boca and Delray, and with my calling card on them.
Oh my goodness. You guys have to see. Susan is holding up these mini ducks. They are completely bedazzled. And they are, oh my gosh, they are going to flip out.
So Everybody in Boca and Del Rey someone is going to get lucky enough and they're going to get ducked.
Well, that is so fun. And you heard it here first. There is a whole duck movement happening that I'm not familiar with, but you definitely do. And you're paying it forward. And I love it with your creativity. She just showed us yellow, green, blue, all these fun designs that are so standout. Oh, lucky, lucky
Lucky duck.
ducks.
So watch out. You're going to get ducked.
That is the coolest thing ever. I would just get a Jeep just to get ducked. Oh my god, this is great. So tell our audience, again, tell them how they could find you, because obviously you are so creative and it's such a thoughtful gift, and it just it's out of the ordinary, and it's a wow factor. Tell our audience again how to find you and order a duck, a candy bar, a guitar.
So, like I said, currently I'm in Posh Art Gallery in Delray Marketplace. You can also find me on Instagram on SFH Designs Ltd, or on my website is also sfhdesignsltd.com.
I would even say if any art galleries, want to have your product, reach out to Susan. Like this is different, guys. This is amazing pieces.
Yep. And I have a lot of very cool stuff in the making.
Would you be able to give our viewers a sneak peek of what's in progress over there at SFH Designs?
I would love to. Right now, I'm working on a few pieces. Right now, I am working on a Rolling Stones album in the making. This beauty is almost done.
That is a full Rolling Stones album cover, fully studded, so colorful. And it is, I mean, I could definitely see that on the wall, in an office, in a dining room, in a bar.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
It goes in a lucite frame. It looks unbelievable. Really completely studded with crystal rhinestones. It shimmers and shines. It's incredible.
What's the range, the price range on something like that?
It's probably about 1,500 up.
Great. And it comes in a lucite
It
case.
comes
That's
completely
incredible.
framed.
Wow.
Up.
Incredible. That's a beauty. All right. What else do you have for us?
This will be 3D. It will be completely stone. It's an old school Pizza Hut pizza box, and inside will actually, once the whole box is completely stoned, it'll actually have a piece of pizza inside that will also be rhinestoned.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
A McDonald's French fries box that I got from McDonald's, and I did stone the French fries inside. It was very cool, and it went like that. 3D art does very well.
3D. Oh, yeah. That is definitely a conversation piece.
So this, and then I have this very cool thing in the making. I just started 2 days ago. So it's a melting Rubik's Cube.
Oh.
You will not believe it. For all of our listeners that can't view this right now, this is an actual Rubik's Cube that looks like that it's melting into the tabletop, really.
So it's like this, and then it appears like it's melting. So the whole thing will just be stoned.
How fabulous for a dining room table, an office. Oh, fabulous. A coffee table.
Actually, even like a mantle of a fireplace.
Yes.
Really great.
I would put it on a fireplace if you have one.
Really.
I love how all of these are really into like nostalgia and pop culture, and they're colorful. It really takes things to another level with the way that you stone them.
Also, books are really great. Like this is a great wine book. And then just the simplicity of having this on your bar just to have, a listing of some great wines and then just doing the cover, just making it simple.
Let me see the Lucky Charms. I'm obsessed with the Lucky Charms box.
Yes, this bringing back a little nostalgia in your life.
Wow. Look at that.
So this is a Lucky Charms cereal box that is so colorful and so detailed. It is completely rhinestoned from the top to the bottom. And it is, oh, this is definitely for a mantle. Oh, it is so fun and so nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Fabulous piece of art.
Thank you. So lots of fun things in the making, guys.
Wow, Susan, incredible.
Thank you for letting me share all this with you.
Thank you. You're amazing. Your talent is incredible.
Thanks, guys. I really enjoyed being on the show. Thank you for having me.